Hello and welcome to the webinar. We're still gathering in our last few attendees. We've got a huge crowd today, and we will start promptly at the top of the hour. So just bear with us a few more seconds. And I've got straight up top of the hour, so let's get started. Welcome to Automate to Dominate. Today, we have Rodney McCall and Donald Starnes from Pentair Pool, who will join us to discuss automation solutions. It will cover setup and troubleshooting for two flagship Pentair products, the IntelliCenter and IntelliVibe systems. Rodney is the automation line leader at Pentair Pool, and Donald is a field application specialist in Southern California for Pentair Pool. Pentair Pool helps the world safely and sustainably move, improve, and enjoy water, life's most essential resource. I do have one quick note. If you have questions about what you're hearing, enter them in the box at the bottom of your screen, and we will try to get to those at the end. So without further ado, we've got a lot to cover today, so let's get started. Over to you, Rodney and Donald.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Aqua Magazine webinar, Automate to Dominate, Meet Your Competitive Edge. My name is Rodney McCall, and I'm the product line leader for automation at Pentair. I've spent 36 years in the pool industry. I started as a lifeguard. I did pool service. I built pools. Well, I will say, when I say I built pools, I was not a pool builder. I worked for a pool builder. I was the guy holding the shovel and pushing the wheelbarrow around. So I also worked in retail, distribution, and now with Pentair. I was the IntelliFlow field application specialist for Pentair. And I had the honor of introducing variable speed technology to the pool industry. I helped teach the industry how to upsell customers on the benefits of variable speed technology. And now in my current role, I'm super excited about working with service companies, builders, and retailers to help them unlock the full potential of smart pool automation. And I'm excited to share how our latest innovations in IntelliCenter and IntelliVibe can help you take your business to a higher level. So why automate? Let's start with a simple truth here. Automation isn't just a convenience. As a builder, it gives you a competitive advantage. It's a way to future-proof your installs and offer a premium experience to your customers that helps you stand out as a business owner who has embraced technology. Automation gives you a natural upsell opportunity, and homeowners love the convenience of automation. And nowadays, customers expect to be able to control things in their home from their phone. The Pentair Pool app offers simple, intuitive control of our automation solutions for from the simple pool to the most complex pool from anywhere in the world. Automating the pool is the only way to take advantage of variable speed technology. Automation allows you to run your filtration system at the most efficient flow rate to filter the pool, and then when some other device like a heater turns on that needs more flow, the pump will ramp up to give you the customized flow that you need. IntelliCenter allows you to offer your customers premium white glove service with remote monitoring. This is a really cool Pentair product feature that service companies and builders are taking advantage of, and in many cases, charging their customers for this service. So here's how it works. From the comfort of your office, you can monitor all of the important parameters of your customers' pools. Filtration, sanitizer levels, pH, salt levels, water temperature. You know if the pump is running. Did the pump have trouble priming? And if there's an issue or a parameter out of whack, you can choose to receive an alert. Any of the Pentair products which IntelliCenter is communicating with via RS-45, we can give you diagnostic information that can help you troubleshoot remotely so you can know what's happening before you even make a truck roll. I call it know before you go. So just a note, to help you when you're ordering IntelliCenter. IntelliCenter has two different enclosure types. IntelliCenter Lite, we refer to as a power center. A power center does not contain space for electrical breakers. And it's great if there is already a breaker panel at the equipment pad. IntelliCenter Lite includes our low-cost Wi-Fi bridge. The Wi-Fi bridge is similar to what all of our competitors are using to connect their systems. Then we have IntelliCenter, which I have here. We refer to it as a load center, which does not contain electrical breakers. It connects using our high-powered wireless, which gives you super robust connectivity in almost every backyard, and that's what Donald is going to cover today. So shifting gears a bit, let's talk about lighting, the product that brings the wow factor into the backyard. And we're going to talk about Pentair's newest lighting product, IntelliVibe. IntelliVibe gives you instant color selection. There's no waiting between colors. Choose a color and bam, the color changes. Maybe you don't want colors. IntelliVibe also allows you to select color temperature as well, from cool white to warm white. It's also dimmable. Through the Pentair Pool app, the IntelliVibe color wheel gives you millions of vibrant colors. So whether you're chilling or want a party vibe, you can set the mood in seconds. And you can set up to 4 independent zones with independent colors or shows. It includes 12 pre-programmed light shows, and we have 7 brand new light shows to explore. The IntelliVibe lights, there's 3 different sizes of lights that work with IntelliVibe. So that allows you to fully customize the look that you want. And the smallest IntelliVibe light can even be used out of the water. Builders, IntelliVibe isn't just another lighting system. It's your creative canvas. It's the tool that transforms a backyard from functional into unforgettable, sorry. But lighting is just one part of the equation. To truly unlock the full potential of a smart backyard, you need reliable automation and connectivity. That's where IntelliCenter comes in. And there's no better person to guide us through that than Donald Starnes. Donald Starnes is a veteran in our industry and hands down the most knowledgeable expert I know when it comes to automation, especially high-powered wireless connectivity. He'll walk you through everything you need to know about installing and troubleshooting IntelliCenter's high-powered wireless system.
Thanks, Rodney. I'm so excited to see what you bring to the next evolution phase of our pool automation. I truly believe you're the right man for the job, though, to be in that seat. So,
I appreciate it.
Hello, everybody. As Rodney said, my name's Donald Starnes. I'm the Pentair Automation Specialist. First, I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your day, allowing us to showcase our products and provide a few time-saving tips regarding internet connectivity. As pool professionals, I believe one of the most complex things we're dealing with is connecting automation to customers' networks. And I'd like to show you how easy our IntelliCenter, coupled with my high powerless kit, can make that connection a breeze. I'll also provide you with some tips on troubleshooting. So let's jump right in. What makes our high power wireless kit so robust, allowing us to get network connectivity across a backyard, through a few walls, is our 900 megahertz wireless technology that we use. While you do have to plug one side of the kit inside of the customer's home, in most installs, you don't have to worry about range issues. You don't have to worry about moving antennas closer to the house to get that network connectivity. And you don't need to really worry about adding more network devices to get that internet connection from inside the house to outside to our pool equipment. So I'm going to run through what comes in our high power wireless kit. I will show you folks how to install the high power wireless kit, how easy it is, and then we'll go through a little bit of troubleshooting, knowing the proper tools to have on hand that are going to save you so much time if you do have those tools on hand, and how easy that troubleshooting can be.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's see it.
All right, so we do have 6 pieces in our wireless kit here. First piece is going to be my PoE adapter. PoE stands for Power over Ethernet. That just means when I plug this adapter into my panel, it's going to supply voltage through my Ethernet cable to power up my antenna. That's Power over Ethernet. Okay. The next thing that I do have is a 15-foot outdoor rated Ethernet cable. This is what we're going to use to mount this antenna outside from the panel. And then I do have our wireless transceiver. There's 2 sides to this transceiver, and it's a dual usage. First side, you'll see that we have our RS485 4-pin connector. This connector is used solely for screen logic interface. So if you've got an IntelliTouch or an EasyTouch and you've got screen logic interface, that's this 4-pin side. Don't connect this when we're connecting to an IntelliCenter, please. For the IntelliCenter, we only want to use this Ethernet port. This is what we're going to use to connect IntelliCenter to. That's the outside. Moving to the inside pieces, I've got 3 pieces here. As you can see, I've got my indoor receiver. Also has 2 different type of connectors. That 4-pin 485 connector that we use only for screen logic. And today, because we're working with IntelliCenter, we're going to be using this Ethernet port. I also have an indoor rated Ethernet cable that plugs into this. And then the other end of that Ethernet cable will plug into the customer's networking device. Lastly, we want to power this up with my power plug. So those are the 6 little pieces that come in that kit. I'm going to go ahead and run through exactly how easy it is to connect it. But first, safety, right? When I'm connecting anything to the electrical, I want to make sure that I power the panel down. So first I'm going to throw the breaker, and because I'm going to be pulling off this shield here,
The dead panel.
We're going to go ahead and before we do this, we're going to go ahead and kill voltage at the main coming into our panel.
So you may have to do this at a customer's home. You may have to go to the panel inside their house to cut off any electricity out to this panel, or there may be a disconnect near this panel at the equipment pad where you can pull out a handle and disconnect power. So for safety's sake, anytime you're working on Pentair equipment, make sure the power is off.
Yes, sir. Okay, first things first is that PoE adapter that I mentioned here. We have an Ethernet port on the back of my main motherboard. I'm going to plug the PoE adapter into that Ethernet port. The other portion of that PoE adapter plugs into the 24V port on my board. This is what's going to supply power to my antenna. It is a fairly small connection. There we go. Now we're set up there. The next thing that we do is we take our 15-foot Ethernet cable, and we're going to take one end and we're going to come in through the bottom where this low voltage raceway is. This is my low volt for all low voltage wires. I don't want to come in to the bottom and come through my high voltage because that could generate noise and create problems with my Wi-Fi signal. So I'm coming in from the bottom through my low voltage raceway up to the top. And I already have one run, which makes it easy. And I'm going to take that Ethernet cable and plug it into the other end of my PoE adapter. Okay, now we can actually close this up, making sure not to pinch the wires there. I have the panel that we'll go ahead and put back on. Now while Rodney's putting that on, screws up there, sir. We come outside. Now this panel is on one of our test units here, so it's not in the ideal space, but ideally where you want to mount this outdoor transceiver is approximately 3 feet away from the electronics of the panel or any other electronics so that we don't get interference, approximately 3 feet away and at least 6 feet off of the ground to avoid any kind of noise. So once we have that routed through, I plug into the Ethernet port of my wireless kit. Make sure that clicks. I'm going to slide it into the little rails there. And then we just close our enclosure there. It's waterproofed outside. I'm going to go ahead and leave this enclosure off for now, just so that way in case we need to get to troubleshooting, which we will.
And since we're out of the panel, we got everything buttoned up, we can return power. So I'll turn the power on here at the breaker.
Yes, sir. Right away, we start to see the LED light blinking here, which suggests that from my panel through the Ethernet cable, I am powered up on my antenna outside. Now we move to the inside of the customer's home where their network device is, right? I'm going to take the Ethernet cable. I'm going to plug it into the Ethernet port. Other end of the Ethernet cable, I'm going to go ahead and plug into an available port on the customer's network device. This happens to be an 8-port switch. I can plug into any one of these ports. If it's a 4-port router, I want to pick LAN port 1, 2, 3, or 4 to plug into. Okay. Once I have that plugged in, I will go ahead and plug in my power. That's it. That's how we connect our high power wireless kit. I'm going to rehash that again real quickly. We drop the panel down. We connect the Ethernet cable to the PoE adapter. We plug in 24 volts. We plug in our outdoor rated Ethernet wire. Oop, that's not. We plug in that other port on the Ethernet into the Ethernet port of my antenna. Move inside the house. Ethernet cable to the bottom of my receiver. Other end of the Ethernet cable goes into the customer's network device, and I power it up. Now I can come back out to the panel, and if all is well, I can go into my settings, scroll all the way down to advanced system configuration, network and Wi-Fi setup, and internet connection test. I've got a successful internet connection test. Hard part is done. Again, as pool professionals, we're used to working on mechanical stuff, right? Pumps, filters, cleaners, whatever it is. Networking wasn't part of the job description when well, actually, that's why they hired me, is because of networking. It's been 20 years since we started connecting the networks with that first screen logic. Over 20 years. Wow. So, but that's the hard part, though. Seeing that internet connection test, I'm happy because I can do anything else, right, that I need to do. Now, when I did this internet connection test, I got a successful internet connection. But what I want to run through with you now is, what do I do when I do that internet connection test? I followed all the steps that you just did. What do I do when it's not a successful internet connection? When I get what's called unable to resolve host URL is the specific error that you're going to get. Anything other than successful connection is going to suggest that I'm not making it from my panel all the way to the customer's network. So I want to take you through the tools that I use, the exact steps that I use every time I go onto a job site that's got an internet connectivity issue when I get called out, and how I get in and out of those jobs in 5 minutes or less every time. I've been on planes before to go to different states for a high profile customer. I've driven hours, 3.5 hours one way to get to a job site. I went across the street to do my neighbor's home. 5 minutes or less when it's an internet connectivity, but you have to show up with the right tools. And I mentioned that we've already been dealing with network connectivity with our automations for over 20 years now. I've had a lot of people still, when I give this class, give a little kickback on the need for having a computer. This computer was $250. It's a Windows-based operating system. It's $250 laptop, and I've had it for 13 years. So it's a good investment because I still have service stations, some of our own Pentair reps, ending up on job sites for 2-3 hours or going back the next day to try and troubleshoot something because they forgot to bring their tool. This is a tool of the trade. If I can save you 2 hours out of your time, I'm assuming that the 2 hours will pay for itself. And not to mention the frustration level, right? Now, This is a 13-year-old computer. It actually came with an Ethernet port. That's another requirement that I ask of our folks when they show up and buy this tool, that we have an Ethernet port. I don't want to deal with Wi-Fi because there's too many variables with Wi-Fi. I want to make sure I'm hardwired from one end to the next.
A lot of the computers don't even have an Ethernet port.
Most newer laptops aren't going to come with an Ethernet port. I think it gave the manufacturers or suppliers a smaller profile capability to make it more slim. But I got this for $15. This is a USB to Ethernet connection. So I plug in the USB adapter side to my laptop, and I've got Ethernet capability again. Okay, so $250, $15. The third thing that I buy, the third tool that I show up with, and this is a just in case, but it's a really big just in case that we'll go over at the end of this troubleshooting. This is a wireless extender. And this extender is actually provisioned to the hotspot on my cell phone. So I have walking internet and network, just in case I need to prove something out to the customer at least, right? And to myself to make sure all my stuff's working. This is it's a $30 tool, right? So less than $300. I'm going to go over some stuff, and maybe you don't remember it all. And I don't need you to remember it all, but I need you to show up to the job site with the proper tools. And I guarantee you, either myself or any one of my tech service agents will be able to walk you through that job site and save you some time and frustration. And at least, in the very least, diagnose at least what we need to correct.
Yep. Okay.
So having said that, when I walk into a job site, I also, by the time I get there, I'm fortunate enough to have access to the customer's home. And I require that when I show up to a job site, because I may need to go inside the house and access my indoor wireless portion. I've driven 7 hours round trip before, and this has happened more than once, just to plug in the power adapter to this. Sometimes it gets unplugged. Sometimes some kid's running around unplugging it, or the cable guy unplugs it. Right. So I make sure that I'm going to have access to the house as well. But what I do is I show up to a job site. I know there's an internet connectivity issue. I go straight to my panel, and I just want to make sure there's no internet. So I go to Settings, Advanced System Configuration, Network and Wi-Fi Setup, Internet Connection Test, and let's say this time it failed. Right? But I have been on job sites that I've actually traveled to where it was actually good internet by the time I got there. So since that failed, I'm going to go ahead and boot up my laptop. And what I'm going to do then, after booting up my laptop, is I'm going to drop this panel down. I'm going to disconnect this Ethernet cable from my main motherboard. And this is a computer. I'm going to disconnect from my IntelliCenter computer, and I'm going to plug into my laptop. The short little tether here with that power cord, but I still need that. So we're just going to have to hold it up here. Once I've got that plugged in, I'm going to go to a website and see if I have internet, yes or no. If the answer is yes, I've got internet on this computer, but I don't have internet when I'm connected to this computer, then I know I need to start troubleshooting here. At that point, you probably could call tech service, because we've isolated where the issue is. They'll probably walk you through how to reboot my computer, which is a fairly simple process, but tech service is best to walk you through on that. Either reboot my computer, or if we need to send a service station to figure something out with the circuit board, then we can do that as well. But we've isolated the issue. Now, if I unplug from here, from my main motherboard into my laptop, do I have internet, yes or no? And the answer is yes. I'm sorry, the answer is no at this point. I don't have internet on my laptop. Well, then I need to move further, because I didn't have internet somewhere between this Ethernet cable here all the way to the customer's network. I need to go backwards. So now I walk to the customer's home. Set my laptop down. I disconnect the Ethernet cable from my indoor receiver, and I've plugged that directly into my laptop. Now the connection is my laptop Ethernet cable directly into the customer's network. Aside from this Ethernet cable, we have no other Pentair equipment connected. Do I have internet, yes or no? If the answer is no, I don't have internet, then I know from my computer through this Ethernet cable to the customer's router, I don't have internet connectivity. So what I can do is maybe swap out the Ethernet cable, swap the available port that this Ethernet cable plugs into, because it could be possibly a bad port on the customer's network device. And if I check again, do I have internet, yes or no, and the answer is still no, then the problem is going to be somewhere on the customer's side. It's either going to be their network device, or it might be even their internet service provider. I've been to job sites where the cable guy was supposed to be on the way, and they didn't let me know the cable guy was supposed to be on the way, and I'm trying to troubleshoot why they don't have internet. But we know at that point it's the customer's network, because I can't even get it with a direct connection here. That's where this comes into play. This wireless extender, because a lot of times you may say to a customer, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, it's your stuff right now. I'm not getting internet service. And maybe they do or don't believe you. But if you want to prove it to them and maybe prove to yourself that I'm for sure that it is your stuff, I can use this wireless extender that tethers to the hotspot of my phone, uses the internet from my phone. I just plug this in inside the house. I give it a couple minutes to power up. I turn on the hotspot on my phone. So now my phone is giving internet service to this network device. I will unplug from the customer's network and plug the Ethernet cable into my extender. Now I've created a whole network. And what I can do at this point is plug back into my wireless kit. Now from my phone through my wireless extender, I'm providing internet all the way out to the panel. And I can come back out to the panel and I can go and do an internet connection test and show the customer that it is indeed working. Right now, I have my cellular phone turned off, so that way I didn't get any alerts while we're trying to do this, but it will work. Okay, that works to show the customer from your home all the way to my panel, my equipment's working. And then you have peace of mind that it's all going to work. As soon as they get their internet fixed, they have peace of mind that they're going down the right road. That's why this is such a special tool. Now, let's get back to our original connection. I've already troubleshot out the panel. Do I have an internet? Yes or no? The answer was no. So I came inside the house. Now I'm unplugging from my indoor controller or my indoor receiver directly into my laptop. So now I'm connected directly back to the customers. This is scenario 2 in here. Do I have internet? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, I have internet, then I know from the customer's network through this Ethernet cable into my computer, I've got internet. So the issue at this point, since I didn't have internet connectivity all the way to here, the issue is going to be somewhere in my wireless kit. It could be a range issue. So, Rodney, you've asked before if it would be a good idea for service folks to carry a 100-foot Ethernet cable on their truck, and the answer is yes. Because if there is a range issue, this thing can only go through so many walls, right? And handle so much maybe ambient noise that sometimes you may need to move it closer. Most of the times you won't. Most of the times it will go that distance that we need it to go and through the things we need it to go through. Sometimes we'll need to troubleshoot like we are here. But I've connected directly to my laptop. I do have internet coming from the customer. So now I know my issue is in this wireless connection here. Before replacing a kit, what I like to do is throw it on that 100-foot cable, connect that 100-foot cable to the customer's network device, and then I'll end up moving my indoor receiver 100 feet closer to my outdoor transceiver and see if I got better luck on that internet connection there. The answer is no. We contact tech service. We've isolated where the issue is, right? It's not the customer stuff. It's not my main motherboard. It's most likely inside of our wireless communication, either range or a failed component in the kit. Because I took 20 minutes to explain that, and I promise you 5 minutes or less when you do it, I'm going to show you real time the steps that I go through. And again, this all depends on whether I've got access to the home or not. I do. I hope that sometimes you might be able to get that access as well. I walk up to the customer's panel. Excuse me. I go to settings, advanced system config, network and Wi-Fi setup, and I do an internet connection test. I'm going to say it failed. The other thing I need to do while I'm in here, I also like to go in and verify my firmware revision, right? This doesn't have anything to do with my internet connection, but for future reference, I want to make sure I'm working with 1.064 or above. This happens to be 3.004, so it's well above that 1.004. I verify that. Internet connection. I drop the bezel down. I disconnect the Ethernet cable from my main motherboard. Plug into my laptop. Do I have internet? Yes or no? Answer is yes. I'm troubleshooting here. Answer is no, I don't have internet. I will plug it back in and walk back to the customer's house. Disconnect from the indoor receiver, plug directly into my laptop. Do I have internet? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then I know I've got a problem most likely with the customer's network device, indoor internet service. If the answer is yes, I have internet here on my laptop with this connection, then I know the issue somewhere within my wireless. Either the range, some kind of interference on the wireless kit, or faulty component in the wireless kit. Again, I don't need you guys to remember all of this, what we just did. It is very simple once you get to learn it, do it a couple times, as long as you show up with the proper tools. This thing's going to save you time, it's going to save you frustration, and it's going to pay for itself after the second hour that you've wasted trying to figure this out. Okay. Rodney, that's what I've got.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks, Donald.
You're welcome.
You know, it's important to get connected, to take advantage of the smartphone control, the remote monitoring. Oftentimes we're launching new features. And so you can get, if you are connected, you can get firmware updates. So it is important to make sure that you get these connected and they have a solid connection.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're connected. So now let's set up an account. The first step for creating an IntelliCenter account is go out to the outdoor control panel and you're going to press the settings button. Then the down arrow to Pentair user portal. And then you're going to click add new account. Here, you're going to enter a property name. That could be Donald's Pool, or we'll say Don's Pool.
Don has a spa. Be Don's Spa.
Okay, all right. Don's Spa. And hit the check mark. And then you're going to enter the email address. Now, the email address is going to be the one that you're gonna before you go out to the job site, you need to ask the customer what email that they would like to use when they are going to log into the Pentair pool account. So you'll get an email from them for the login and a password that they would like to use. Now, the password needs to meet a certain criteria, and it needs to be 8+ characters, an uppercase and a lowercase letter, and at least one number and one special character. So
I'm having troubles because I didn't put my glasses on. Can you type gmail.com in for me?
I have my bifocals on, so I can do that. Yeah.
Getting old.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And yet now they're getting, this is not my good side, by the way, with the.
That's what I've been told. All right. So we entered in the email address.
Yep.
We've hit check.
We're going to enter the customer name, and we could
just go on from here.
So you're going to enter the customer name and their property address at this point. Yep. And then you're going to hit the plus button. Now we're going to enter a password. And as I mentioned, uppercase, lowercase, at least 8 characters, uppercase, lowercase letters, at least 1 number, and 1 special character. And to do that, we're going to hit enter password. And the word password is already here. For just to move on through this demonstration quickly, we're just going to add to the end of that password. And we'll use, there's an uppercase and lowercase, and we're going to use 1 and an exclamation mark. When you're in the field, you're going to use
Something more secure.
Something more secure than this when you're setting this up. Then we'll hit the check arrow or the check mark, then re-enter the password. And again, we're going to enter 1 and an exclamation and enter the check mark. Then we're going to enter the check mark again, and we'll be creating a new account. So the next step, you take that email and that password, and then you're going to create an account on Pentair.
Account created successfully. Folks, that's the hardest thing to do about this. Aside from getting internet connectivity, creating the account, when I see that, I know that I'm able to talk to the world now and use remote access. So that's a happy note. Yes,
we're making progress here.
The progress is done. We've already made it.
The next step, download the Pentair Pool app and log in using the same email and password that you've created here. Then you'll follow some prompts in the app to set up customer information and set up notification preferences. And the IntelliCenter system is going to show up right on the dashboard at that point in time.
Yes, sir.
Because now you
hit next and
married the two.
Now you're off and running with the control.
So if at any point during this process you get tripped up, we have Pentair technical support ready to help you. Give them a call and they're on the line ready. Also, for more information on how to do this, on Pentair.com, we have a Pentair Pro resource education center for how-to videos, self-help guides, and online learning modules.
Very good modules.
So for more education, of course, we got the Pentair Universities, and you can simply type in Pentair University, where you're going to be able to see any of the opportunities that we have upcoming in your area for coming to a city near you. Yep. When you do call technical support, there's a few things that you probably want to have in hand, right?
So a lot more than it's not working.
Exactly. Yeah. So firmware version is helpful. Internet test results, like what Donald has just gone through. Yep. So we can help troubleshoot
what model you're using,
the model, and any error messages that you might have got. Yep. Interesting thing, Donald, I think you probably know about this. We're rolling out a new regional support structure. So keep an eye out for that in your local region. We'll have regional technical support people. And I just want to say thanks for joining us today.
Yes.
We hope you leave this webinar with the knowledge and insights and confidence that will help you grow your business and make your life better and help you automate to dominate. At Pentair, we're going to keep pushing the boundaries of what smart pool automation can do for your business and for your customers. Thank you for attending today. And most of all, thank you for purchasing Pentair products.
Thank you. Any Q&As?
Yes, indeed. We do have time for a few questions, Rodney and Donald. So let's get right to those. The first question comes from Jordan Skarzinski, who asked, just want to confirm you cannot connect the indoor transceiver to a PoE switch. Is that correct?
You're absolutely right. The reason why, so PoE, remember, means power over Ethernet. So if you have a switch or a network device, a switch or a router that has PoE capability, that's sending voltage out of your Ethernet cable that you plan on plugging into this indoor receiver, but I've already got voltage coming into it. So that's essentially sending 2 sources of voltage into this thing, and I don't want to do that. Same thing as if you were going to do a home run. So taking an Ethernet cable from your home all the way to my panel, You can't use a PoE network device. Otherwise, you will send voltage into my circuit board directly and you'll fry it immediately.
Okay.
So I hope that answers your question, sir.
Next one, is the wireless bundled or a separate purchase?
It actually comes with the bundle kit. So if you order IntelliCenter, we've got, I don't remember how many SKUs that we have for the bundle kits for IntelliCenter, but if you order a bundle kit with IntelliCenter, the wireless is included into it. If you order a la carte, meaning that I'm going to order what kind of enclosure I want, I'm going to order what bezel I want, what kind of personality, is it single body, shared equipment, and then you're going to have to order that wireless solution afterwards. But yes, it does come included in the bundles that we have.
In the bundle system.
That was your question. You're the man.
I know.
He's
yeah.
a sorry. That wasn't technical.
Yeah.
Stealing your thunder. He's got thunder. It's okay.
You may have just answered this question. I'm not smart enough to figure out whether you did or not. This comes from Naim Barakat, who says, do we need to buy the wireless connection with every system, or do some of them come pre-built?
I did answer it, but I want Rodney to answer it now because he's the guy.
So yeah, so the high-powered wireless on IntelliCenter units, the high-powered wireless comes in the systems. On IntelliCenter Lite, we have our Wi-Fi bridge wireless solution, and the IntelliCenter Lite does ship with the Wi-Fi bridge included, and the IntelliCenter systems come with the high-powered wireless system included.
Okay. This question comes from Alexa, who asks, are there...
you said the name. Hold on. We got to wait for her to stop.
Oh.
Scott, you should know better than that.
That's funny.
Holy cow. Okay. What was the question there?
Are there any issues to be aware of when connecting to a Starlink system?
No, there's not. Starlink, though, they don't have an Ethernet port off the bat in their tower. They don't have an Ethernet port that you can take an Ethernet cable and plug into my indoor receiver here. So there's two options that you can do. Starlink does sell like a little dongle, a little power dongle that you can plug into the back of their tower that gives you an Ethernet port. So then you can use that to plug in here and then into my remote. Alternatively, we've done this on job sites as well. We've just purchased little Wi-Fi extenders because Starlink is Wi-Fi connection only. Purchased Wi-Fi extender that actually has an Ethernet port on it, because some Wi-Fi extenders don't come with Ethernet ports. You can plug this Wi-Fi extender in somewhere in the house, provision it to wirelessly speak with the Starlink, and then you can connect this Ethernet cable from my extender into my wireless receiver. Easiest route, though, would be to contact Starlink and purchase their little power to Ethernet dongle.
Okay. This is from Ernesto, who asks, does the internet modem have to have a specific hertz rating, i.e. 2.4 megahertz or 5 hertz or anything like that?
When you're talking about 2.4 or 5G, you're talking about wireless connectivity. My wireless kit is not a Wi-Fi device. This is a Wi-Fi device that works off of 2.4 and 5G. Okay? My wireless kit, and that's where Ernesto's question comes into play, on if this can communicate with the 2.4 or 5G wireless router. But my wireless kit is what we call a virtual Ethernet cable, meaning that I'm not using Wi-Fi 2.4 or 5G connection to connect to the customer's router. I don't need the customer's SSID or Wi-Fi name and password to connect to it. My Wi-Fi kit is essentially an Ethernet cable that runs from the home all the way to the main panel. The only difference is I'm breaking that up with my two antennas to use wireless connectivity between the two, my 900 megahertz that allows me to go the distance.
You know, one of the interesting things that this isn't a question yet, but the nice thing about the 900 megahertz that I like is the fact that you don't have to know what the homeowner's router password is. You're just connecting it and you're connecting the two without having to get that homeowner's router password. I will say, to speak to Ernesto's question, with IntelliCenter Lite, with the Wi-Fi bridge, we do want 2.4 gigahertz.
2.4 only.
And 2.4, but most of the products in your home that are connected, Wi-Fi connected, are going to use the 2.4 gigahertz range because of the distance that you can get with 2.4. 5 gigahertz is usually a shorter range, higher speed, but we're not watching movies here. We don't need that high speed of a
Absolutely.
connection.
We don't need all that data.
Is just fine.
Okay. Next question, Ernesto. I hope we answered your question there. I hope there may be another question that Ernesto might have been trying to ask, if I may, when it comes to that the 2.4 5G we just explained, but there is a protocol, a data protocol. 10 over 100 megabits per second is the amount of data that you can get into a device. And now we have newer gigabit devices, which is 1,000 megabits per second. So I'm wondering if maybe Ernesto's question might have been leading towards that. Now, if you're leading towards that, if our devices work with gigabit, if my panel works with gigabit network devices, the answer to the question is if I take a Ethernet cable from a gigabit switch that doesn't support 10 over 100, it's just 1,000 megabits per second, i.e. gigabit, and go straight into my panel only supports 10 over 100 speed protocol. So it won't work. But my high power wireless kit doesn't care if it's gigabit or if it supports 10 over 100. It can convert whatever we need to convert. So I hope that answers you.
Yeah, sounds good. I've got a question here from Mark. He says, hey guys, could you expand on what all we need to get ordered with IntelliVibe?
Oh, that's a great question. So, that is a really good, I did want to mention this. With IntelliVibe, you need to install it with IntelliCenter currently. And if you are buying an IntelliVibe, you're going to choose your lights, and we have a large, medium, and small light. And I mentioned that small light can be used out of the water. So you're going to choose an IntelliVibe light. And I think we have the Nano, the Meso,
and the Micro.
And then you're going to also purchase the controller. And this controller will connect to the homeowner's router, and then you'll control that from the Pentair Pool app. So lights, and then
specifically IntelliVibe lights.
IntelliVibe lights, IntelliVibe controller, and then the transformer.
Yeah. Need a 300 watt transformer. Step-down transformer. So just like our regular lighting transformer, it has to be 300 watt. We're going to put that transformer to a 14 volt output, and then go and power up my unit here.
Yep.
So
thanks for the question.
That was a good one. This comes from Chris Parker, who asks, can you replace a Light 5 circuit board with an IntelliCenter 8 circuit board?
You don't need to replace it. Oh, well, here's an i5. So i5 single body, Chris. I'm sorry here. Let me get this out of the way for you. You'll see this portion here is an i5 single body.
Or we call it i5P.
Yeah, i5P, single body. Now, I've added a daughter card that makes it an i5 pull SPAL. All that does is give me intake and return valve. So now I can go between pull and SPAL. Now, if I wanted to go into an i8, I need to remove this daughter card and put in my new i8 daughter card. My main motherboard and bezel can stay the same. I just remove my daughter card, which is our personality card, and put in the new daughter card.
I will say, Donald, one of the things that you need to be conscious of, if you go from an i5P to an i8, you'll I assume you're going to control 3 more relays. With the IntelliCenter Lite, we have space in the IntelliCenter Lite for 5 relays.
This question comes from Huber. How many users can be set up on the system?
How many users can we set up on the system? So Donald, I think that's how many users can we set up on a system? So you can
on an IntelliCenter
have as many people as you want download the Pentair Pool app.
We've never capped out. So here's how it works. The main panel, you're going to have one main administrator user. You can invite, I don't think we've ever tested the cap out, but they've done over 50 at our GEC team.
Okay.
Okay. Done over 50 invites and we've still been fine. So you can send invites. So that main account can send, like Rodney's account that he put in here. Rodney can log in and send me an invite. He can send so many people an invite, and they can either be set as administrators as well, or they can be set as guests. You're always the main account.
You can actually also kind of go in and determine what they are able to control.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
well.
As guest user.
As a guest user.
Yeah. So administrators, they would have full access to configuration of the panel from their app that you invite, and guest users, you go into the panel here and you specify specific circuits and access to circuits that a guest would have, or any other functionality.
So you might want them to control the lights, for instance, but maybe not the heater.
Yeah, that's common, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. We got time for one more before we wrap things up. This comes from Benny Friesen, who asks, how many meso lights can I connect to the IntelliVibe controller?
4 per zone.
4 per zone. Okay.
Yeah. So we have 4 zones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You can connect 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. So 4 mesos per zone.
Perfect. All right. Wow. Well, for anyone who didn't get their question answered, we have your email and we can get back to you individually. I want to thank Rodney and Donald. I learned a lot. I know everybody else did today. And as an industry leader in the pool and spa space, Pentair Pool is driven to help people safely and sustainably enjoy water. Their solutions include industry-leading pumps, automation, lighting, heating, and filtration technology that help customers enjoy a smarter and more sustainable pool. And I especially want to thank everyone. We had a great turnout for taking time out of their day to come and learn more about Pentair. And that's it. That's the end of the webinar. Thank you for coming, and we can all get back to our jobs.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.